A little note on long marks. These long marks, which you see, for example, in Italia, no long mark, in Europa, with a long mark, est, are going to be used in Latin to help you understand what case a word is in. The case of a word in Latin, of a noun, is going to indicate how it's being used in the sentence. So it's kind of hard for us to imagine as English speakers, but I guess you could, the closest thing maybe we have is like, if I asked you who, that's a different grammatical use than whose. Putting an S on the end of whose, an SE, is going to show possession. So in Latin, word endings are often going to change because they're going to reflect a different use of the word in the sentence, of the same noun. So the long marks are used to help with that. They didn't exist in ancient Roman times, or at least they weren't used regularly, but they really became handy after Latin stopped being spoken so regularly as a living language, because they help us get a sense of how Latin was pronounced and how these different words were being used in a sentence. So they also come in handy when metered poetry comes into play. So even in English, you'll sometimes notice with Shakespeare, for example, that there's like an E with a little accent on it at the end of ed. So sometimes even in English, we do have little accents to just show, hey, put your emphasis on this syllable. But it can also, in Latin's case, usually connote that you spend a little longer saying it than you would a short vowel with no long mark. So for now, just notice them. Feel comforted by the fact that many Latin teachers don't teach them at all, that very rarely do Latin teachers take off points if you don't include them, and that authentic texts often don't have them. They're really kind of like training wheels, so they're going to help you. The more of them you know, the more actually in the long run you're going to be able to really get some mileage from your Latin vocabulary and grammar. So I would use them. I would put on those training wheels because it could be a bumpy ride some days. But at the same time, just know like this isn't something that, you will fail Latin if you don't understand long marks. So that is my word of comfort to you about those long marks. Keep an eye out for them, though. I think especially at the end of a word. At the end of a word, they really start kind of helping you notice, like, oh, we're in Europe. Europe isn't doing an action. We're in Europe. So that's my handy tip for you with these long marks. They're also called Macrons or Macrons, and yeah, they're pretty rad. I think you will come to find them friendly. I think that they're really good things to pay attention to. If you're a visual learner like me, not a bad idea to draw them in a different color of pen. That's my little handy tip for you. They'll help you notice them better. Okay, take care. Bye.